Hi, everyone. I'm here today with my friend Forge. Forge is a 6-year-old Mustang who's been in training with me now for several months. And in a minute, I'm going to show you a very exciting video with Forge. Forge recently had her first rider on her back. So this is a very exciting and monumental moment in a horse's training process. I always think it's so cool and such an honor to be a part of that process for the horse as they learn these new skills and reach that milestone of having their first rider. Now, the first rider and the first several rides that a horse has is really going to kind of set the tone for how they feel about riding and how they're going to respond to riding and how their training is going to progress from there. So unfortunately, I see a lot of videos of first rides on horses, especially in like the colt start events and things like that, where the horse is very fearful. Maybe they're very shut down. They're very overwhelmed. Maybe the horse is bucking and the rider just rides it out. Maybe the horse is running around, or again, maybe they're just completely shut down and they're so overwhelmed that they don't even know what's going on or what's happening. And that is definitely not the kind of experience that I want my horses to have. And I don't want them to associate riding with being fearful or being uncomfortable. I really want my horses to associate riding and our time together with being enjoyable, being fun, something that can build their confidence and help them feel more confident in themselves and in me and our relationship. I want it to be an experience that builds my horse up. So in order to do that, we spent a lot of time preparing Forge for this moment. There's a lot of groundwork that goes into preparing a horse to be ridden. We've spent a lot of time working her in hand, teaching her how to use her body, teaching her how to communicate with us so that we can guide and direct her, developing a relationship and a partnership with her so that she really feels comfortable with us, and then spending time getting her used to having a saddle on her back, standing at the mounting block, getting her really comfortable with all of those things before we even try to get on her. That way we know that we're setting her up to be successful. Now, Forge as a horse is a very sweet and very highly intelligent mare. She's really been a pleasure to work with, but she is also a horse who has a very strong self-preservation instinct, meaning she really wants to take care of herself and make sure that she stays safe. And if she does not feel safe or she does not feel comfortable or she feels like she's being overly pressured, she's going to let us know. She is really expressive about her feelings, which actually I think is really nice because it really allows me to know how she's feeling about everything that we're doing with her. But because she does have that strong self-preservation instinct, if she does feel overly pressured, she's going to feel like she needs to defend herself, and she will not hesitate to do that. And while we have not had any issues with her because we have not pushed her beyond her comfort zone, she is the kind of horse who could easily become one of those problem horses. Because if she felt uncomfortable, again, she's a horse who would react and she would defend herself. And that could lead to a lot of undesirable behaviors, kicking, biting, bolting, bucking, anything like that. And she would be doing it because she feels like that's her only way to protect herself. So Forge, like I said, she is very expressive. She will let us know when she's uncomfortable. And it's our responsibility to be aware of that so that we don't push her too far. But if we didn't listen to her and we kept pushing anyway, then that's when the behavior would increase and get stronger and more reactive and more aggressive. And that's just simply because we're not listening to her. So she needs to increase her behavior so to try and get us to listen, and also to protect herself and keep herself safe. So a couple of things you'll notice in the video as we're working with Forge. One is that we're going to go slow. We're not going to pressure her to do anything. We're not going to force her to do anything. You'll see a lot of time where we give her time to just stand and process and think about what just happened, and relax, and just kind of think about and process what's going on rather than rushing her through onto the next thing so that she might feel overly pressured. Now, this is an important thing to do with any horse that you're working with. A lot of times we move very quickly and we don't give our horses enough time to think about what's going on, and that actually makes it harder for them to learn. So this is an important thing to do with any horse. This is especially important with a horse like Forge, because again, we want to really make sure that we're giving her the time to feel comfortable, because if she's not feeling comfortable, she's going to definitely let us know. And we don't want to take her past her threshold to the point where she needs to feel like she needs to defend herself. So you'll see a lot of time where we just stand, we let her think about things. There is one moment where someone walks into the arena, so she gets a little distracted by that, and her anxiety level kind of comes up a little bit. So we just take a lot of time to just let her process, let her relax, and come back down before we continue on. Because again, we want this to be a positive experience, and if her anxiety is already high, there's no sense in continuing on, because then it's just going to build and build. So we want to take the time to bring that anxiety level back down before we continue on. Another thing that you'll notice is that I will be holding Forge from the ground while her owner, Cari, is working with her on the mounting block and gets on her. But what you'll see is that as I'm holding her, there is a slack in the lead rope, okay? So I'm not forcing Forge to stand at the mounting block. I don't have a tight grip on her. I'm not forcing her to stay in place. I'm there on the ground to offer her support and to help her feel more comfortable, and to help her stay safe, and to, of course, help Cari to stay safe too. But I'm not forcing her to stay in place. So that means if she's standing at the mounting block and she feels like she needs to move and she's not ready to have someone on her back, she's able to move, and I would allow her to move away. So she's allowed to have choice in this. And again, if she's not feeling comfortable, then I don't really want to get on her, because that's just going to set us up to have more issues in the future. I want this to be an experience that she's really, truly comfortable with. So as she's standing at the mounting block, you'll see that I have a slack rope, and that way she really is given the freedom to have that choice to move away if she wants to. And if she chooses to stand at the mounting block and she stays quiet and comfortable, then I know that she's truly accepting it and she's okay with that, and we're okay to continue. So that's something that you can watch for in the video too. So all of these things are just going to help us to give Forge the best experience possible with her first time having a rider on her back. Again, this is a very exciting and monumental moment in a horse's training process. It's a very cool thing to be a part of. But when it goes well, it's actually quite slow and almost a little bit boring. So you're not going to see anything too exciting happen in the video. It's going to be very slow and quiet, but that is exactly the way I like things to go when I'm starting my horses.